All right. Well, welcome back to Solana Smoke. So today we'll be with Jayce, and we're going to be talking about everything from tokenized stocks, private markets, and basically, the blurry line that is between all of this. So thank you for joining us, Jayce. So you're the founder of Stoneii. So I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit. We'll talk about the product later. So if you just give a brief intro about who you are, Jayce, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, my name is Jayce, and now I'm the founder of Stoneii, and my project starts about 1 year ago, and I started invested in crypto was in 2019, and I was in uni. I studied in the University of Edinburgh. Yeah, and and I studied artificial intelligence when I was in uni. But at the time, we don't have anything like a cursor or those kind of programming tools, guys. And we have to code by our hands, we
The
without
good old
any
days.
helps. Yes, and after universities, I decided to not programming in some big companies TikTok or Google. So at that time, I found that it's a big opportunity to invest in cryptos like BTC and Solana and ETH. Yeah. So I think when I was 2019, the Bitcoin price is about $3,000. At that time, I just bought my first BTC. Yeah, and I was 21 years old,
All right.
and after a summer, and the investments increased by 4 times, 2 times or 4 times, or two or 3 times, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily. 2019 was the good old
But
days.
yeah, I was very lucky. I bought at the very bottom of BTC. At that time, I just studied artificial intelligence, some AI technologies. I also interested in blockchains. Yeah, it's very rare. In my uni, my major is artificial intelligence in University of Edinburgh. Yeah, but I have not found any universities teach blockchains in their as their major. Yeah. So at that time, I just found BTC is like a stamp. So I collect it as a collection. I don't think it will increase or it's a good investment. But later, I just studied everything about cryptos, and I found BTCs will increase the price will increase infinitely.
Yeah.
Basically, like in
I
the
mean,
very long, yeah, it's when time the scale of time, the BTC price will increases infinitely. Yo, so later I learned ETH and Solana, and after this cycle, I found there are a lot of problems in the crypto field, because there are memes, right? People all trading memes, and the BTCs and the Solana, and we rarely find other project that it makes money like Arbitrum, Optimism, and other tokens. The problem is that those tokens they cannot make retailer investors to make money because the market value, the valuation is very high, but the liquidity, like the token circulated tokens, is very low.
yeah.
So the project, like some their founders or some earlier investors, they will release their tokens, and the price just continues goes down, and the investment in this field. I don't
You
make a
got
lot
your
of money.
family trusting you. You got your friends
Yeah, my
trusting
family.
you. I mean, you started very early. I think that was very ambitious of you. When you started your
Yeah,
story, saying that you were already studying, AI before anyone was actually talking about AI. So
yeah.
you've always kind of, I wouldn't say predicted the future, but always, seeing a bit what's ahead. So they were
Yeah,
basically giving you their money, and you would invest in crypto on their behalf. Was that correct?
Yes, yes, because they have seen like my record and so they trust my decisions, yeah. So I don't make a lot of money for them because it's very at the end of 2025. Actually, some just lose a little bit. But the problem is found that like in crypto field, like not a lot of founders and people they are really like thinking how to help other people to make money, like yeah, it's more like a fund. So I started this project. I just think it's like a fund. It's not like some crypto projects, but like just issue some tokens and people buy and they lose money, right? My mentality is different from like Web3 people. Lots of Web3 people they just want to issue tokens and just and they don't care about the project. And I also started my fund to help them to invest in the pre-IPO companies like XAI and OpenAI and Anthropic, some companies like this, and they make a lot of money. Yeah, money because I help them to make the money. Those RW tokens, the price is linked with the real equity tokens. At the beginning, not a lot of people will put a lot of money to buy those tokens, but if I make them to make money, and later they will give more money and to buy more tokens from my website, from my tokens. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because I don't see like there's a good opportunity to invest in Web3 assets. For most of assets, like some retailer investor, they will lose money. But for those pre-IPO companies, they are backed by their value. Also, you can see like in the AI industry, from like average investors, they didn't like benefit from the AI boom. You can buy Nvidia stocks, but people cannot buy Anthropic. They cannot buy XAI. They cannot buy like a few other companies 1,000 times, right? 1,000 times is really a huge number. But in AI industry, some companies the valuations goes very fast. Yeah, I just mean like for those unicorn companies, people they know what to invest, but they cannot access to that. I'm not a big fan of like a tokenized like a secondary markets because people they can register in the traditional like brokers. You can buy those stocks like Nvidia, Apple's, Tesla. But I found that pre-IPO companies, it's like it's not that risky like more earlier companies, but those companies there are a lot of promising assets you can buy. It's less risky. Also the potential is higher. Yeah,
So just
I just
to put things in perspective, when you say pre-IPO company, what like, because on one side you're saying it's less risky, but I mean clearly not for the traditional investor. Let's be real. Like, I think most of the people are even scared to just invest in the stock market. So if we're saying it's not risky to invest in pre-IPO, are you saying like very big companies that have stayed public for a while?
actually you can have a research that like a lot of companies have not IPO'd yet. So like OpenAI, Anthropic, or previously XAI, before it's merged to like SpaceX, you can buy like maybe 10 unicorn companies. Those 10 unicorn companies will definitely be the future or be the dominant companies in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah, 100%. I
If
mean, if we're
yes,
seeing like the price SpaceX is supposed to IPO, we're talking 2 trillions. I fully understand that it's very big. It's just
yeah,
that an IPO moment is usually where there's as well a lot of volatility. And so maybe in the short term, it might be a bit of a risky bet. And so you're saying you're
Yeah.
not so much interested in the tokenization element so much, but more in the actual pre-IPO company themselves, right?
Yes. First, I just think those companies is promising. If I invest those unicorns, I just invest in Silicon Valley. It's like a, it's like an index of Silicon Valley. Yes. So I think it's not that risky because you diversify your investment to 10 those unicorn companies. It's not that risky. And another thing I just found, globally, not a lot of people have a Nasdaq account to buy those stocks, and there are less people to have access to those pre-IPO companies.
The market
Yeah.
is usually complicated to access this pre-IPO.
One of my programmers, he is working in India or Pakistan. Even he cannot open an USD account. He only can use USDT or USDC, and every time I just pay him USDT or USDT, DTC, and he cannot buy those pre-IPO companies. Yes, but if I tokenize those companies, and he can have access to those companies. It's
Yeah.
legal. According to the security law, you can say the security laws. The people who are not Americans, they can buy those securities or companies. Maybe you can just use $1. It's legally
I mean,
yeah.
for
But
pre-IPO, I think it's still pretty complicated, wouldn't you say? For pre-IPO, I mean, there's no public market for it. There are tools that allow you to buy, but you're not usually investing in them directly. You're basically buying economic exposure. So
yes.
if I understand well, the idea behind Stoneii, it was really to give access to the global population to those pre-IPO companies. Was that kind of the North Star
Yes.
for you? Okay.
Yes, yes. Yes, just I can reach more investors and give them opportunities to access. Normally it's very complicated because you have to set up SPV, special investment vehicle.
Yes.
You have to hire lawyers to do due diligence. The cost is very high. It's can
The
be
idea is to simplify the process, if I understand right. Like
yeah.
you want, like Stoneii would be kind of the bridge between the people and those kind of hard to get into investments, right?
Yes. They don't have to hire a lawyer to do due diligence. They don't have to set out SPV in BVI or other entities, and they can just directly buy tokens just
I
with their
see.
wallet. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at your website. I think it will help, people understanding really the kind of value. Kind of explained us your difficulties. Correct me if I'm wrong. To those opportunity. So, explain us a little bit, like why did you decide to go kind of KYC away from the DeFi ethos and more close, I would say, to the traditional finance.
Actually, it's just like a different access. It depends on different stages. And later I can do it definitely listed in Uniswap or PancakeSwap or to the Radium in Solana. Uh, but currently, I believe that in the market, some will not be a lot of liquidity. So I just decided directly to let people buy tokens from my website. If there maybe in the future, if I issued more tokens, I will provide the liquidities to Uniswap so people can directly buy from Uniswap. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
How big is the team, Jayce?
We don't have that much people, maybe 20 people currently.
All right. I mean, that's for a Web3 project, most of the Web3 projects say they have a big team and they end up being, three. So, I mean, that's very good. And like, how far are we from the first kind of token emission?
I think this month will be issuing tokens. We just some legal papers, and we just bought Anthropic, yeah, and
Right?
SpaceX, yeah. I hopefully like I will issue a token represent a package of like those stocks. Yeah.
So if I understand well, you're talking about the packet. The idea is to then create kind of an index, or would you sell kind of separate token per company?
At first, maybe just for convenience, we just issue a basket of those stocks, and uh, and later, like maybe it's well decided with my team. Like if we issue it for each single stocks or issue it like in index, we can communicate with different investors. Do they want like a single stocks or they want a basket of?
Let's say SpaceX would be kind of the big thing. I would rather have only SpaceX rather than just kind of split it. But sometimes in private equity, especially in pre-IPO, getting access to actually the underlying share is oftentimes a challenge. Do you find this a challenge for you and your team?
Yes, it's very difficult to find those uh, good those good companies shares because like Anthropic is very hard. You cannot buy a lot from them.
Yeah, allocations are either very small, it's a bit
Yeah,
more
and
complicated
and
to really.
yeah, and another thing is that if my investors uh, if the number of my investors is larger in the future, and I have a lot of funds, I can talk with those funds or companies, give me better price. Yeah, so so it's very important. Like yeah, if I have more investors, I can buy with less price or lower valuations. Yeah, so my investors can make more money from
Yeah.
yeah.
I was asking, as you're clearly referencing on your website, it's no US investors. So what country would you say is the biggest market you would be selling your tokenized index into?
To be honest, I don't know. Like actually, like U.S. investor, they can buy like from the already liquidated tokens, but U.S. investor they cannot buy from a website. Yeah, I just make it clear because according to the legal registration. Yeah, but I think there are more investors from maybe from Australia or from less developed countries. I don't like Thailand, Malaysia, and India. Yeah,
Right. And is there going to be a minimum for investors to jump in, or will be you know, free
just
for all?
$1, I think. Yeah,
$1. Very
yeah,
nice.
because traditionally so-called qualified investors, they have to put maybe like I don't know, like $100,000 over to invest. I just make it legal to issue tokens. Also, reduce the requirements to $1.
And in today's world, where do you see is the kind of the biggest operational risk that kind of worries you for the success of Stoneii?
At first, it's more most of the issues is more like legal issues, but later I just solved it, and I have a very solid solutions for this. confirmed it like with several different firms of lawyers and other exchange, some founders. This is the main issue, I think.
All right.
I just found two or three different auditing teams like Slowmist and other auditing team firms to help me to make sure the code does not have any like bugs. Yeah.
Especially April was one of the most brutal, especially when it came to DeFi and all these hacks. So clearly, I think we have to bring back the trust
Yeah,
into the system, and when people are investing, they want to make sure that they're working with a company that they can trust. I think is very important.
yes, and one like my tech teams, they like maybe like a few months ago, maybe at that time we also consider if we need to develop like a bridge for different chains, but I decided not to do so because most of the hacks are from those bridges, so I decided not to develop that.
I see. And now, if we're kind of talking to the Web3 founders that are watching this episode, what tips would you give them in kind of either raising funds, or what are the kind of the biggest operational hurdles that they might encounter, and what did your kind of experience teach you?
Okay, from my experience, that like you should be honest. I think yes, because at the beginning, this project is more like my hobby. I don't think it should be a very huge company, or I will raise with a very high valuation. But I think it's very meaningful because I help a lot of people. And also, previously, a lot of people, I give them some advice to invest, or they give me money, help them to invest. I bring them results. Yeah. So, are more willing to give me money. Yeah.
It's really
I'm very lucky because I was introduced to two investors when I started my project. Because later my parents they don't support me actually because they think they don't know the legal documents or something. They just think if I issue token and the government will fund me and yeah and I will have a lot of trouble. But I think like globally, I should make people more equally to invest. The people they can free because the traditional financial system is not equal. It doesn't have a lot of freedom. People are restricted. Like the inequality of wealth distribution just don't have enough opportunity to buy good assets. From my point of view, yeah, and they don't have a good source of information. And yeah, if I can reduce the investment requirements, so I think some less developed areas, those people they can buy some good assets, they can increase their standard of living. Yeah,
so
like
it's
some
really
in
a mission you're on.
yeah, I just make some good things for other people. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just think like to help other people to make money is for me is a very happy thing because other people can have a I don't know, you can benefit other people, right? But for
Sure.
you, like if you just maybe you know how to invest, what can make money, maybe just tell them, and they can make money too. So for you, you don't have any costs. Just like me investing in those pre-IPO companies, and I benefit from that. I also want my friends or other people can make money with me together. Yeah.
Uh, I guess this is where the line becomes kind of that there's like Uncle Ben says to Spider-Man, like great power comes with great responsibility. So
Yeah.
this is where we have to make sure that the users aren't being, like you say, being scammed, and
Yeah.
and that ultimately they're in a safe ecosystem. and that everything is done, the right way. But from our talk that we've had today, I mean, I think you're taking all the steps. It'd be from a legal angle, but as from a tech angle to make sure that the investments are good. So best of luck. Keep us updated on where it goes. And yeah, do you have a final sentence, maybe a final tip that we can share for our fellow listeners?
I just hope that I can bring people good opportunities to invest and help people to increase their standard of living. I think help people to make money, help people to manage their funds. It just make me very satisfying and it's a good way to make new friends and it's very nice to meet you and I hope in the future I can have more contact with you and yeah and with your
Yeah.
followers. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jayce. So that was it for today's episode of Solana Smoke. I hope you enjoyed the show and learned a lot from what Stoneii is building, and I think it's a great mission to make sure that you know. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the other episodes. Talk soon. Bye.